House Rules Committee meeting Wednesday on Trump's big, beautiful bill got fiery. Democratic Representative Maxwell Frost made a connection between the Conservative claims of the right to life and gun violence. That set off committee chairwoman, Representative Virginia Foxx.
Foxx abruptly banged the gavel. Let's take a look at that exchange.
In this bill, that's what we see over and over again, the right to life, because you need the health insurance, versus the right for profit.
Yeah, see, they say they're pro-life because they want the baby to be born, go to school, and get shot in the school. Die in the school, die on the streets. No, that is what they say.
I'm not going to say anything, but you've gone over the cliff.
I move to strike his
I'm not going
words.
over the cliff.
Wait, you've gone over. We were going to be quiet, but you've gone over now.
He didn't use any.
I meant every word.
Let's listen to some more of Representative Virginia Foxx blasting Democrat Maxwell Frost.
It might be good to leave your words, because that's how you feel. But you are not going to come into this room and impugn our integrity. You will not. We are pro-life people from conception to natural death. Most of us are. And don't you come in here and say, we want to preserve life so people can get shot.
That's what I've seen.
Now, if we rewind that conversation, Frost, the Democrat from Florida, was actually defending a bipartisan Safer Communities Act passed by Democrats and signed by President Biden, aimed at the prevention of gun violence. Let's watch.
And if we want to talk about a safe America, over the last 3 years, because of the bipartisan Safer Communities Act passed by Democrats, signed by Joe Biden, and the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention, in the last 3 years, gun violence has gone down more than it has in our country's history. And this false notion that you gotta pick one, you gotta either be for the Constitution or you're okay with people dying. I mean, it's just false. We are for rights, but we're also for making sure that the right to live is preserved.
I think I've been starting off a lot of our discussions today, Amber. What did you make of all this?
Yeah, the whole, well, if you're pro-life and you don't support my specific gun restriction program, then you're not actually pro-life. It's just this noxious, like, high school debate club argument, I think. I mean, okay, I don't think that we should kill homeless people, but does that opinion get invalidated if I don't want to give every homeless person a free house? I mean, it's a logical fallacy on its face and really a nasty smear of the pro-life movement. The reason that the movement doesn't talk about these other issues is because a lot of the members of the pro-life movement have different views on them. Surprise, surprise, there are pro-lifers who believe in restricting gun access. There are others who are very pro-Second Amendment. They want to keep their movement primarily focused, wholly focused on the issue of abortion. And I thought that was a really nasty place for Maxwell Frost to take that.
I wasn't a great fan of the quality of the debate. I didn't think it added much in that respect. Having said that, I think that people who are more pro-gun control should be more forceful in making that argument. I don't take the view, which some do, that they're too aggressive. I take the view that they're not aggressive enough. I take you at your word that there are people in the pro-life movement who are in favor of greater restrictions on gun ownership. I would say that among elected Republicans, certainly on the national level, don't seem to be so many of those. And his point, Frost's point, was partly about schools. Now, I mean, I remember, for example, in the wake of Uvalde, where 19 children were murdered and 2 adults. Ted Cruz, who of course represents Texas, talking about focusing upon the fact that there were too many entrances and exits. And I find it so absurd that we have these debates suggesting that the problem is the number of doors when the problem is the number of guns. Obviously so. The rate of American gun ownership is vastly greater than any other country on earth in terms of the number of firearms relative to the number of civilians. And so, good for Maxwell Frost to try to highlight that issue even if I think the actual rhetoric by which he did so was, it wasn't exactly the way I would put it, but if he's on the pro-gun control side, I would be on that side of the argument.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my response would be, if you are talking about his comparison, right, is that if you think it's bad to kill babies, then you don't support getting rid of guns, then you think it's okay to kill children. I mean, people like Ted Cruz also argue for school resource officers that have the ability to defend schools, teachers being able to have concealed carry licenses, other security measures at schools. So they disagree about the solution to a problem they both believe is bad. So you could actually turn that argument around on Maxwell Frost and say, okay, so you think that killing children is bad, but you don't think killing babies is bad. That's like the same logical conclusion that he reaches, just in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I mean, the morality of abortion is, I think, a morally very complicated topic. I mean, I, unsurprisingly, favor, giving women the maximum right to decide what they wish to do. That's a separate question from, when do I think life begins or whatever, which I think is actually I just think it's a very complicated issue with which to grapple. I don't necessarily think that, to your point, that someone opposed to abortion and also that means that they protect babies there and they want to kill them in schools. Like, I don't think that is a fair argument to make. But I think that it would be, look, I would have a completely different view on gun control to the vast majority of people in this country. I think that the pro-gun control people often get lost in trying to wend their way around the current realities and the amendment as it exists. If it were up to me, just campaign to repeal the Second Amendment and work it out from there.
The British Crown would have loved that.
I think the amount of people who are killed in this country by gun violence is an obscenity, and therefore something has to be done to counteract that. It is difficult, even though people have debates around the precise meaning of the Second Amendment, well-regulated militia and all of that. I think that the core solution to the massive problem of gun violence, which kills about 16,000 people every year, leading cause of death for children, is to repeal the Second Amendment and then to restrict gun ownership to a very considerable extent.
Well, I will always be grateful that I have the ability to protect my family with a gun. And my last point to Maxwell Frost would be that why is it that the pro-life individuals donate far more to charity than Democrats and irreligious people after children are born in order to help impact their outcomes positively through their own pockets? So by his logic, they don't care about kids because they don't donate as much to charity.
I'm not familiar with the charitable donations, but I take you at your word. Next on Rising, a lighter topic, I think, the album cover seen and heard around the world. Sabrina Carpenter shocking fans with the release of her album art for her new record, Man's Best Friend.